What can you say about Travis?
You know, just really proud of him, happy for him. Such a humble guy. I'm not a big guy on deserving, but if there's anybody deserving of it, is Travis, because he always deflects the attention. Makes it about his offensive line, makes it about his teammates. And he's just, he's got the ability to do it, and it's refreshing when you see a young man that has the ability, that puts the work in, and is able to achieve it. So really happy for him.
What do you mean you aren't a big guy deserving, just in terms of like mindset?
Well, no, just because a lot of times we feel like we deserve more than we really, we really work to earn. And so my word is more earn. Go out and earn it, because life isn't fair, and you're not always going to get what you feel like you deserve. But at the end of the day, you're going to get what you earn. Whatever work you put in, you're going to get the reward. And it may not be as much as you want, but at the end of the day, you can feel good about it when you put your best effort forward, and you're not counting on anybody else to give you what you deserve.
Tony, how important was it to kind of walk the line of getting your starters enough rest, and also win the poll?
This is Wofford's not an easy team to get prepared for. You watch them on tape, and they're one of the best teams in FCS. Propose some challenges with their structure. Biggest thing for us is we just want to come out and play clean. It doesn't matter who we're playing. For us, the biggest thing is to come out and play clean. I thought that the first two halves, the first half of this game and last game, it's probably about as clean, other than the one punt that we had in the first half. And then really the big challenge was coming out in the second half and challenging these guys to respond better than they did the previous week. Because last week when we came out, that first drive didn't feel like we put our best foot forward. And this week we were to come out and score points, and then have an opportunity to play everybody else. So the biggest thing for us is we're in championship phase. It doesn't matter who we're playing. It's about how we play. And when guys take care of business, then you have the flexibility to play some more guys and build that depth.
Another strong game from Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor, and again, we know who Trevor is. We know the kind of young man that he is. And Coach Sweeney said it when he came off of a little bit of adversity, that is good for him. And he's responded the right way, just like all of us anticipated that he would, because of the character that he has. And it's just good to see him playing at a high level. And week in and week out, each week presents its own challenges. So he's going to have to go back and start over on Monday, just like we did last week after the win versus BC. We had to start over on Wofford. We got to start over on NC State. Dangerous football team. We know how they've matched up with us over the last couple of years. We know how much they put into this game. So we're going to celebrate this one tonight. And Trevor and all the rest of the guys that got to flush it coming on Monday with the right mindset. And the biggest thing for us is yes, we've put together a couple games of playing at a high level, but we got to continue to do it because this championship phase of our season, and we got to be at our best.
Regardless of the score, was it the plan coming in to play Trevor the entire first half?
We didn't have any conversations on when we were trying to get him out. Biggest thing for us is we just wanted to play well. Whatever it took, our objective was to play well with all of our guys. We wanted to get them in there. And again, you can't – I was here in 2011 when it didn't go so well versus Wofford. I've been in here when we played Troy, and it's been tight games. So the biggest thing for us was really challenging from a maturity standpoint and see could they, replicate the maturity that they had early in the season when they played UNC Charlotte, knowing that obviously this team on paper is not going to be able to match up well. But they're going to come in, be spirited, play us hard, and I thought the guys handled the challenge pretty well.
Looking back to when you were recruiting Travis, obviously 39 games and his name is in the record books with a lot of guys. Was that something you saw out of him when you?
Truthfully, didn't know a whole lot about Travis. It was a situation where that year going in, there was two guys that I was recruiting, and Travis was out in Louisiana. He was already down the road in his recruiting, was headed to Texas A&M, and we had a young man committed that fell apart in December, and that's really when we first met. And so I think it was one of those deals it was meant to be. But the first time I went into the school and I met with his coach and had a chance to meet his family and meet Travis, I knew that there was something special about him. He just had such a quiet and humble spirit. And then when I had a chance to see him play basketball, because that's really the first time I had a chance to see him do anything live, because again, we weren't recruiting him as a sophomore and a junior, and I didn't recruit him during the senior season because we were down the road with somebody else. So the first chance I had to see him play basketball and saw how explosive he was and how fluid he was. He could shoot, he could dribble, he could dunk. He could do all those things. I said, man, this guy's got a lot of skill set. But there was still some question because he was coming out of a option-based offense. So I didn't know how he ran the inside zone, how he ran the power, how he ran the outside zone. But I tell you what, because of who he is as a person, how humble he is, how he wants to, be special, and how he worked to do it, it's all transpired into what we see now.
I think
think Mitch Hyatt said around this time last year that the first time he knew Travis was crazy good was like maybe fall. He like busted a huge run pretty immediately in fall camp.
Oh yeah.
Do you have like that aha moment?
And probably it was a similar run. I can remember we were out on Jervy Meadows, and it was just a quick little counter scheme to the boundary, and man, he took off and he was gone. And going against our defense, man, you don't hit big runs when you go against our defense in practice. And that fall camp as a freshman, I mean, he hit more big runs in that one fall camp than probably all the guys that I've had combined, Gallman and Ellington. Just I'm talking about big long runs like you saw tonight. And running away from people, and that's why I knew, man, this young man is special. And then, he still was green, because he's still, a lot of times, even I think on that one, he's probably outrunning his blockers, but he runs so violent and he runs so fast, he was able to hit a big play.
He said he's still sort of watching himself on the big board on a big run. Do you get the sense that he's still a little bit in awe of all the recognition he's gotten?
Well, he doesn't like the recognition, and I think that's what allows him to continue to play at a high level, because it makes him feel uncomfortable. And I think that also drives him to continue to improve, because he knows, and he's one of the few that gets it, and that's what you really like as a coach, is when you have a special talent and they know they're special, but they don't just rely on their talent. They want to put the humility and the work ethic with it, and that allows them to set records and be considered among the best.
Why do you think that makes him more comfortable? I mean, a lot of guys maybe strive for that sort of.
Because he's just a kid from a small town, from a good family, just hard-working folks. He's really under the radar. He just doesn't like the celebrity. He doesn't like for people to pat him on the back and tell him how good he is, and he doesn't like to be the face. And that's something that I've challenged him too, because I think going forward, where his career is projected to go, he's gonna be in some situations where people are gonna look to him as a leader. So he has to be able to be uncomfortable, be okay with being uncomfortable from a leadership standpoint, but not become comfortable with being a celebrity, if that makes sense.
We heard a lot about how he responded after North Carolina. What was he actually like, truly like behind the scenes after that game?
He's just quiet and just went to work. And I said it before. He had a bad day in the passing game up at North Carolina, and he owned it, and he's improved since then. But up to that point, he had been doing what we'd asked him to do. It's just the big plays weren't coming, and then that forced him to start trying to force the issue a little bit. And I think he just went back to saying, you know what, I'm going to trust in my preparation process. I'm going to trust in, my practice reps, that the harder I go in practice, the more disciplined I am in practice, the easier it's going to be in the game. So he was just kind of quiet, kept to himself, still within the confines of the team. He wasn't running from anybody. He wasn't like a dog with his tail between his legs. I mean, he was still out front in front of the line, but he was a little bit quiet, a little bit reserved, and he was just trying to focus on what he could do in practice to get better. And that's how he's been, since then. And you're seeing the results on the field.
I feel like you get out of the game like this when you're playing LCS